Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Corey, better known as the Seaman, and I want to welcome you to another edition of the Seaman's Cinema Sitdown. It's Thursday, Theater Throwback Day, and we just did Maleficent, which takes place in 2014. And being in that time period, and thinking about the fact that I've missed some theater throwbacks, and there's a movie coming out, tonight that features an actor and a character and a franchise that I just absolutely adore. I thought it might be fair to just hang out in 2014 a little bit longer, give you an extra theater throwback, and talk about one of my favorite action movies of all time. That's right, baby. You gotta pull up a chair, man. Take a seat. We're getting ready to dive in spoiler free for theater throwback into John Wick. Like I said, tonight, John Wick 3 comes out, Parabellum. I am so excited because anytime Mr. Keanu Reeves steps on screen, puts the suit on, becomes Mr. John Wick, it is some of my favorite Keanu Reeves stuff. If there's one thing you know about Keanu Reeves, the man learned a lot because of The Matrix. He became a martial artist. He became an action star. And he's very dedicated to doing all of those stunts and action bits himself. And John Wick, I think, is just the epitome and the peak of all of the things that he had learned from Matrix to that point. His hand-to-hand combat and shooting skills. If you're unfamiliar, John Wick is like one of the greatest assassins of all time. We learn there's a world of assassins, and he got out because he fell in love and he got married, and then his wife dies, and days after her death, he receives a package, or rather like a crate that has a puppy and a letter that's basically like, I know that I'm about to leave, but I want you to have someone or something to love. So here's this puppy. Absolutely adorable little puppy, and you get to kind of see their relationship early on. And then, one Mr. Theon Greyjoy, Alfie Allen, pops up in this movie as kind of this cocky little Russian kid who kind of bumps into Wick at a gas station and decides, I'm going to steal his car. And when he tries to go in to do so, they kind of beat up Wick, and things kind of go sideways, and the puppy shows up and they kill the dog. Mild spoilers, but it is a key component to the story. You need to know that stuff because that is what sets off this wonderful trilogy of John Wick movies, man. It all started with the fact that you don't kill a man's dog, and when that man's dog is all he's got left of his wife, oh man, and John Wick, when he gets going, is the man. So it's kind of him kind of going after Alfie Allen, and how this movie actually pulls him back into the fold and back into the world of assassins to set up, a sequel that was absolutely excellent, and this obviously conclusion trilogy piece that I can't wait for. The thing that they're building with this series is wonderful, but it all starts back in 2014 with John Wick, and it's one of Keanu's best performances and best characters of his career, man. He just totally encompasses John Wick, and because it's mostly about the action and the hand-to-hand combat, the fact that it's him on screen the whole time, you believe that Keanu Reeves is like the greatest assassin of all time, man. The hand-to-hand stuff is amazing. The choreography for the fighting sequence is unreal. But my man is all about the headshots, man. The way he moves as far as like with the gun and shooting and taking out, the way he approaches his kills. Always 2 shots, second shot always to the head. It's wonderful to watch, and how they mix that stuff into the choreography and just the visual effects to all of that, man, to really give you realistic shots. It's graphic, but not like overly graphic, but it works really, really well. And the visualization in these action sequences, from the lighting, you'll find out very quickly that the John Wick movies have wonderful, beautiful lighting that really create these awesome sequences that just kind of enhance the action. Throw in the score, and what you're looking at is Chaz Stileski, who's been the director on all 3 of these bad boys, but also David Leitch, who's uncredited as a director in the first one. He was more involved, but produced all 3. Also the guy who did Atomic Blonde, and has actually said he would love to see those worlds merge. I don't know how we do that, but what they do, man, from production and behind the camera standpoint, it's just visually so pleasing to watch this movie. And when you have that baseline story, you just are pulling for John the whole time. So as he goes about his bit to try to find Alfie Allen, you learn more about his story, and you just, like I said, it enhances the story and the action and all the things that he's doing, man, because it's so personal for him this time. And the world is really one of the most impressive things about this movie, outside of Mr. Keanu Reeves. What Leach and Stileski and writer Derek Kolstad build here as far as this world of assassins, man. You have the Continental, which is a hotel in New York that all the assassins can go to, and if you are part of that club, obviously it functions as a home, a kind of a safe haven, where there's no business gets taken on premises, man. So you can go there to heal, see the doctor, gear up, just kind of take a break. They have obviously bars and their services. It's just fascinating when you're seeing all the stuff that's going on in there. And then, you're starting to see that it's just all of these different assassins, and the way things play out in the Continental a couple times, really, really awesome. But the thing about the Continental you gotta love the most is the fact that it introduces us to Winston and the hotel manager, Sharon, who are played by Ian McShane and Lance Reddick. These are the two guys that you'll see also in all three of these movies. And again, very small, minor roles, but the nuanced little things that they do that just kind of add to the John Wick world, and it kind of adds to, I wouldn't say humor, but the more lighthearted moments and the ones that kind of make you smile. Really, really great performances by those two, and I love the way they function in this world. And you get really great performances from a whole lot of people, man. Alfie Allen, I was joking around with my buddy, I was like, the reason Ramsey really takes Theon in Game of Thrones is because he watched John Wick and was like, man, you don't kill John Wick's puppy. You don't do that, man. That was why Ramsey really went after Theon. But Alfie Allen, man, he's pretty solid in this movie. It's interesting because, he's the son of a Russian mobster, or possibly assassin. Because he's very familiar with that world, knows John Wick personally. What I love is they call him, the Baba Yaga, the boogeyman, but he's the guy who would kill the boogeyman. That's how good John is. But so he has this Russian bit, but when he speaks, he does kind of have more of an American accent and less of a Russian American accent than you'd think. But he does everything you want him to do, man. You hate him the whole movie. Everything he does, from his arrogance to just how he rolls, pisses you off. And that's what you want from that. And then, of course, Michael Nyquist, who plays his dad, Vigo. Oh man, I love the relationship between him and John Wick the whole movie, and how that kind of builds to its crescendo at the end. And then you also have Willem Dafoe, who plays another assassin in the movie, who also has known John Wick. I kind of like the way they utilize him, as Nyquist kind of approaches him and says, this is the bounty, I'm gonna give it to you basically before I release it everywhere. And then you also get to throw in people like Adrian Palicki, who plays another assassin who kind of is trying to pick up on the John Wick bounty, Miss Perkins. And they're just really solid supporting, performances that help build this world that is just so much fun to watch. And everything John does, man, he also, his car gets stolen, so there's some driving sequences in this, the stuff with the cars and the way they use them in the action. It's just big and it's fun, and I love this movie, man, start to finish, and I love this franchise. And it all started 2014 with John Wick. Really, really solid stuff, man. Like I said, it's visually pleasing. The action is just insane, and it's so believable. Everything that happens in the movie, you're like, I buy that. And it's one of those things that I think Leach and Stileski do really, really well with this movie, is that even when the action is absurd and it's huge, the effects and the things that come out of it in all of these movies, at least the first two, and I'm assuming the same would hold in the third, they feel real. It doesn't feel like it's too far out of the realm of possibility, and that adds a lot to the film. So I'm a massive fan of John Wick. I cannot wait to go see Parabellum tonight. I'm so stoked, outside of the fact that I think this is going to wrap up this series, but I could watch them all day, every day. So there you go, man. Theater Throwback number 2 for you today. John Wick in the books. I love the movie. Now I know what you're thinking, man. Are you a big fan of Keanu Reeves? Do you love the hand-to-hand? The fact that he does all of his action stuff? You just love John Wick, or do you not? Do you think it was okay, mediocre, not so good? You don't really care. Everything you're thinking, even if it is those terribly wrong things. I kid. Everybody has their own opinion. But leave all that down below in the comments. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new here, and you want to come hang out with the old C-Man, gotta go hit that, subscribe button and then a little bell. That way you get alerts and you'll know when I have finally seen and posted about the third John Wick movie. Maybe, just maybe, we should maybe do the John Wick 2. Get that in there. I don't know. I'll think about it and get back to you. But until then, for the C-Man's Cinema Sit Down, I'm the C-Man. I'm signing off. Peace! Well. If you aren't still here, looking for something else to check out that's C-Man related, why don't you check out a video like this guy or this guy? And if you really want to help the C-Man out in year 2, hit that subscribe button and come join the Cinema Sit Down squad, kids. You know what to do. See ya.